Welcome to Gospel Diaries, a platform that offers a unique avenue for artists to share their stories, express their thoughts, emotions, and personal journeys. Today we're in Philly with Zach Williams. What up, Gospel Diaries? Listen, I am still in the Philadelphia area. Actually, I'm in Philadelphia, and like I say always, but definitely I really do mean this. I'm excited to be here with this legend right here. He is doing some incredible things. Mr. Zach Williams, how you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. Say hello to Gospel Diaries.
Gospel Diaries. Greetings from Philly.
What is your humble beginnings?
My humble beginnings were at the Macedonia Free Baptist Church, formerly located, it used to be located about 10 minutes away from here. This is considered the North Philly section of Philly. And it was on the corner of 21st and Cecil B. Moore Avenue. That's where I grew up. My mother was the president of the senior choir for 28 years. So all of my life, that's all I knew was choirs. I was raised around choirs. At that church, we had 5 choirs, plus we had a family choir. So choir music that was all I knew. It was either choirs or quartet of the choir. And I think the main thing, I was captivated by the one person standing in the middle that had total control of a mass amount of people. And I was, I just studied that. I wanted to do that, and I wanted to play as well. So yeah, that was my beginning. The choir director, but what are some of the other elements? Like, is it the music selection? Is it the choir decorum? Like what is it? It's all of it. It's the music selection. It's the in-your-face singing. It's the tonality of the choir. It's the choir decorum. It's the uniforms. It's all of that. It's now we're into the age of the choreography. It's all of that. It's just all of it, all in one.
Talk about the beginning of One Akord. How did that get started?
Man, let me tell you, it's crazy. So One Akord started before One Akord, actually.
It started before.
Yeah. It'll make sense. It'll make sense. So it started in 97, 98. With Hype Praise. That was the name of the choir. I started a choir named Hype Praise. The acronym was Hype, Hungry Young People, Everlasting Praise. And we sang all over the city in Delaware for years, for like, what 8, 9 years? At that point, we just loved to sing. I was directing the choir, playing a little bit, but doing more directing. But we just loved to sing. We really did. I started to have visions of having a choir because in my city, in Philadelphia, we were very choir heavy. We had the Philadelphia Mass Choir, of course. We had the Savettes. We had the Victory Choral Ensemble. We had Roy Oliver, the community singers. We had David Winslow, the Winslow singers. But it was one choir out of all of them choirs that stood out to me. And that was the Reverend Ernest Davis Jr.'s Wilmington Chester Mass Choir. That man and that choir, I think I followed them all around Philly, from Cornerstone to CBT to Christian Tabernacle, to When Singers Meet in Chester, at St. Daniel's, at Murphy. those were all the spots where we went to hear great choir music.
Gas was cheap around that time.
It was like 99 cents a gallon.
Okay. Go ahead.
So that I would definitely say that, and my greatest influence, was watching Reverend Davis and Wilmington Chester, and Keith Pringle, the Pentecostal Community Choir.
You mentioned him in one of your songs.
Yes, absolutely. And Milton Bronson, Thompson Community Singers.
So it started under another name. So how did you get that?
So we sang
that name change.
So we sang for like 8 years. Of course, all of us were getting older. And I
see the gray in my hair?
You see the gray in my hair? Go ahead. Here. So I said, and this was a divine revelation, bro. Divine.
Yeah.
I was like, I am getting older. I can't continue to call us hype because we're getting older. So we got to transition because it's hungry young people. We're not young no more. We are, but we aren't. We like getting to our 30s, soon to be 40s. We can't keep calling ourselves hungry young people. That ain't gonna work. So I prayed, and I talked to two friends, two brothers of mine who are in pastorship now, Pastor Mike Barrows and Elder Mike Barrows, and Bishop Hayward Hamilton. So I was talking to them because they were kind of involved with what I was doing, and I said I need to transition from here, and it started getting actually something I love to do started getting serious. Because we tried to record a project, even though nobody knew what we was doing, including me, and it went absolutely nowhere. But that's fine because I just wanted to have something, right. But it started getting more serious, and I was like, this is something that I really, really want to do. Right. So I halted Hype Praise, and I sat the remaining members down and said, I have to transition, and I prayed about what the vision would be, and actually Bishop Hayward Hamilton wrote the vision for me for the choir, and I reached out to people that I knew that wasn't really doing it and saying, I said, listen, I'm starting a new choir, I'm gonna transition from Hype, and I have a name. This one name kept coming to me, one accord, one spirit, one mind, one body, singers and musicians. So that was the concept. I handpicked 30 people. 10 people came with me from Hype, and they're still with me to this day.
What year was this?
This had to be 99. Wow. Either 98 or 99.
Remember the first song he wrote? Or second song?
The first song, the first song I wrote, I think I was 15.
15?
And it was at Macedonia. One of the greatest choir director influence I ever had. She went on to be with the Lord. Her name was Pat Butler.
Wow.
And she was the director of the Davis Course. That was the choir that I sang on. So what I would do in the middle of service every Sunday, we would, of course, I went to my mom's church, but after service, we go downstairs and eat, and we kill time before the second service. So I went, I would come upstairs, and I would just play on the piano, and I wrote a song. I love him, I need him. There is no other. Got all the words, but the name of the song was called "I Love Him" in the key of C.
Did you record it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, you still have time to record it.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. It was in the key of C because when I first started playing, that was the only key I knew how to play.
All white keys. Huh?
Yeah, all white keys, no dark.
Well, listen, man, I'm having fun with you, man. We'll be right back. Of course, we're probably going to have a musical intermission, but I'm enjoying you, man.
That's what's up, bro.
Gospel Diaries. We're back. Now, Philadelphia is a mecca for black culture.
Yes.
So I'm definitely excited to be sitting. You are a native, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.
Born and bred.
Thank you, Jesus.
On the playground where I spent most of my days. I would say the most recognizable church as far as gospel music, anybody in gospel music, 2 words, Ford Memorial.
Oh, yeah. Rest in peace.
Bishop Andrew
God.
J. Ford II. Ford Memorial. Every time I think about that man or talk about it, I just get emotional because he was, we affectionately called him the Bishop of Philly because that's what he was. And anything music came out of those doors. We talk about his family from Pastor Michelle, of course, the great, the one and the only Stephen Ford. You know, but that church was indeed the Mecca for years.
And then the sound, like,
The
we
sound.
have come to tell you,
Yeah.
what is it, Mighty Good God?
Yep. But even before then,
Okay.
they had this song called "We Serve a Mighty God." That was the song.
In the morning, in the noonday, I'm gonna rest his holy name. We serve a mighty God. We serve.
That was written by another Philly icon that left us way too soon. His name was Kevin Pringle. He was also the writer of my previous single, Jehovah Jireh. He had a choir also by the name of Children of Israel. So, I mean, Philly, you know, I love all the cities, but nothing compares to Philly. I'm trying to tell you, the Philly sound, you know, all of my brothers right now that are musicians, they are out there, you know, just doing their thing and representing the world, but they all come right from Philly. And then you had, like I said, Kevin Pringle and the Children of Israel. If you ever want to hear a good singing choir, they could sing every and anything.
Did they ever record?
They did record. Unfortunately, none of the recordings came out. And I kind of made it a vow that every record that I record, that I would record a Kevin Pringle song to honor his memory. So I have a couple of his songs already recorded, but it would be Kevin Pringle, Children of Israel. Then you have Tony Moore and Jehovah's Chosen. They was an amazing community choir out of Philadelphia. Glenn Washington and the young youth delegation, they were like on the outskirts of Philly, but it was heavily Philly influenced with the members. We had Tony Fields' New Testament. That was another great choir in our Philadelphia area. So we had the choirs for you, brother. So I think they work hand in hand. They should, because we're all doing the same thing. We're keeping the genre of choir music alive, and the job that what community choirs would do what the church choir couldn't do, because the church choir could only do what the pastor would allow. The community choir is not governed by a church. They're governed by whoever is the main person.
Yeah.
So their reach, you know, went a little further than the average community choir.
Yeah.
Like I always equate church choir to Ford Memorial because they had the best church choir, period. I'm gonna play one of my favorite choir songs. I got it. It's an oldie. Take all the mistakes in love.
Yeah. We back. God is good. What's the name of the church again?
St. Philip's Baptist Church.
Welcome to St. Philip's Baptist Church. What's the address?
1223 North 6th Street.
Y'all in the area? Y'all visiting Philly? Y'all stop by and see
I
this,
said that right. Lord.
this phenomenal.
It's a great
restaurant.
church.
Oh, yeah.
It is really a great church.
Oh, yeah.
I've been here about 6 months now.
6 months? Your church choir, St. Philip's, your choir, and what else are you doing?
I am the music director now for Willams and Chester.
Really? Congratulations.
Yes, sir. It's been for a couple of years. And I also have my own radio show outside of WIMG. Partially kind of syndicated a little bit. I'm on 5 different markets, 6 different markets. The name of the show is called The Choir Storm Radio Show. It's all choir music. I've been doing that for 9 years. So I do that, I do Wilmington, I do One Akord, Minister Music here, and I'm doing production out at my studio and doing projects. So it's a lot.
Oh, God, you know, but you got work while it's day.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I love it, man. I love, this is, when I was a kid, I'm doing now the things that I dreamed about doing. Putting out great music that can be replicated in the church every Sunday morning.
So let's dig a little deeper into your radio duties. So how did you get involved in radio?
Man, now this is funny. It was a mistake.
A mistake? A great mistake.
What happened was, so I put out a single, Wonderful Jesus, and my friend, he's my mentor, his name is Ed Long. At the time, well, he's still there. Well, he had a show that came on Sunday mornings. WDAS is probably the oldest station, you know, in our area. Everybody all over the world knows about WDAS. So they had WDAS AM and WDAS FM. He had a show that came on Sunday mornings called Sunday Morning Celebration. And he would be on for about 3 hours. So he had called me one day. I sent him the song, and he was like, yo, I got an interview about the song. It's hot. I was like, you think so? He was like, yeah. So, okay. So he said, come up to the studio so you can do an interview. I said, okay. So I go up, we do the interview. In the middle of the interview, bro, I promise, he was like, he stopped, he said, you need to be on the radio. I was like, the devil's a liar. No, I don't. I said, I don't want to do that. He said, you need to be on the radio. I'm going to put you on the radio. He said, all this knowledge that you have, the stuff that you talk about choirs, you need to do a choir show. He said, he said, all right, let me start you off. Why don't you be my gospel insider? He said, because you know everybody. He said, you talk to everybody. I see your posters every time. You post a picture, you with this one, you that one. Be the gospel insider. So we were supposed to start in 2 weeks. So the week I was supposed to start, I called him. I was like, listen, I got a better idea. Let me just play music, and we could talk over it. He said, okay, well, what kind of music you want to play? I said, choir music. He started laughing. He said, I told you you should have a, he said, so we'll do that. He said, what I'll do is I'll give you 30 minutes of my show, and you can do that. After we did it the first day, he called me on that Monday. He was like, these numbers are ridiculous. I'm going to give you an hour. An hour went to, I think, an hour and a half. He said, I didn't give you 2 hours. So I ended up taking over that part of the show with just choir music. So we were doing it every Sunday. Came off like an hour and a half every Sunday playing nothing but choir music. And that's how it started. And then it went from there to WDSA and went off the air because of, I guess, they didn't see the relevance of gospel music at that time, so they took WDS off the air. And my friend and her husband, they had a radio station called Look Up Radio. Fatima Burke and Jean Burke, shout out to both of them. So they had Look Up Radio, and he said, why don't you come to Look Up Radio? I said, okay. So I brought the show there. I was there a year, and then he offered me the position of music director. Program director. Yeah, program director at Look Up Radio. And that's what I did. So I brought them shows, and then Choir Storm became a 2-hour show every week. From that, then it morphed into WDIH in Salisbury, Maryland, 90.1 FM. So it comes on there twice a week. Then it more from there to Praise Fest, the Praise Fest Network. I think they're based in Atlanta, so it comes on down there. Yeah, so it's just kind of like went from there because you know everybody loves choir music, and I guess for me, my favorite part of doing that is my throwbacks because those throwbacks.
Get out of my head!
I'm trying to tell you, man, that throwback segment that I do is incredible because you know, I dig back and pull out the real old classics. Yeah.
You know, you're on there to inspire.
I don't get paid for this. I do this because I love it. I absolutely love what I do. I love, you know, choir. Like I said, the choir, you know, is just near and dear to my heart. I'm always going to love it. And promoting good choirs and playing great choirs, you know, I'm going to continue to do it. You know, and you know, there's so many great choirs that are out there right now. I play everybody. I don't care if you thank me. It's not even about that. It's not about you thanking me. I don't even care if half of them don't support me. It doesn't really matter. The message and the purpose is greater than all of that. You know, for all men and women to know that choir music is out there. It's the best music in the world. So many amazing choirs, material that you can take back to your church. On Sunday morning, you got choirs like Dexter Walker and Zion Wood, my brother Kevin Lemons and Hart Calling, Patrick Riddick and Divine Worship.
Yes.
You know, so many. Larry Callahan and SOG from Detroit. It's so
Can we mention Uncle Weaver?
Yes, Dr. Eloquent Weaver. So many. I can go on and on. The Bishop's Choir in Trenton, New Jersey. They just celebrated 25 years. They're out there in the West Coast. My bro, FM2 Intentional. So many amazing choirs. Malcolm Wilson. You got John Howard. Malcolm Williams in Chicago. It's so many great choirs. Vincent Bohanna. I can go on and on. Pastor. Hey. So I can go on and on and on. That message needs to go out. And I'm going to continue to play all of them until the day I close my eyes. I'm going to continue to push and play choirs because it is indeed the best music in the world.
And if I could put my foot in there for a second, and you know, the age the day that we live in today is people are more accessible. Like in the 70s, the 80s, yeah, of course you can get in a car, get in a plane, but people can look right on their phones and see whatever's going on in the church community. And the reason why I'm saying this because this is something that really needs to be said, and this is why I call this gospel diary. It's in the diaries. You know, like a lot of people are inspired by gospel music. So they become fans of certain artists, right? Now, the thing about it is that some of these people, when they meet their influence or the people that they look up to, they turn them away because their attitude doesn't match the spirit in their music. And I think that that's something that we need to really pay attention to.
All about the message that we preach, that we sing. You know, with me, you know, I want to be the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You see me in the airport, I'm the same. You see me in the market, I'm the same. You see me out get something to eat or walking down the street, I'm still going to be the same. I'm going to be the same. Why? Because if I'm not, that contradicts what I do when I stand up there. Or if I sit behind here. It contradicts. If you can't approach me, you can't say nothing to me, it contradicts. And I understand everybody has their space and their time. I get it. But the big picture is this. The consumer, the person that's a fan of your work, you know, they're supporting you. So you owe, to a certain degree, them time. Even if they, hello, or hello, or it used to be an autograph. Can I take a quick pic? There's nothing wrong with that. Just smile, keep moving. You know, I understand, and I understand. You know, I understand. I've been in situations where I've seen certain things that would turn me off. You know, it's just it doesn't hurt to be nice. And I'm not throwing off on anybody. Nobody. I love everybody. But I just think, you know, with me, I can't speak for nobody else. I can speak for me. I'm always going to be the same all the time. All the time.
Well, man, we have had a complete blast. So, you guys, really what I wanted to do is I wanted to document this, you know, right now in your career, because a lot of, like, when we get older, sometimes we forget certain things, but it's always good to look back and hear how we describe things, you know, 10 years ago. Or you may still remember, but you probably won't explain it the same way that you explained it. So I really just wanted to document your career here at this level. So I've had a wonderful time. We're going to play some, he's going to play a song of him probably. But as I always say, love on someone
You got to.
Change a life. But you know, like Jeff LaValle, Dr. Jeff LaValle, what he said, Uncle Jeff, he added something to it. I say love on someone and change a life. He said you can also change your own life.
You can. You can.
Bye, guys.